If you're a solar installer in the UK and you're finding that the market is just a race to the bottom on price, then this video is for you. So stick around, it's probably going to be around 10 minutes. I'm not here to sell you anything. I've just got a lot of experience here, and if you listen to what I say, you're probably going to make some more money. For context, my name is Michael Brown. I'm the director of Solar Scale. We've helped solar installation companies in the UK generate millions in revenue over the past couple of years. Excuse the background noise if there is any. I just propped this up on the restaurant table outside and figured that this would be a good time to give you some value, because it just came to my mind now, and I've been talking to clients about this all morning, so I may as well just get the ideas out of my head whilst they're here. Okay, so let's talk about the race to the bottom on price and why it even happens, right? Because if you really analyze your business right now and you're watching this video, you're probably finding that your margins are being squeezed to the point where you're thinking, why am I even installing? I'm making 500 grand per install. Back in 2008, maybe you were making 5 grand, right? The markups were crazy. So let's speak about some facts, right? There's hundreds of installation companies going live, launching, becoming new businesses in the UK every single year. And on the flip side of that, there's also companies going bankrupt. What that means is these companies, these one-man bands, can shift systems that should cost 9 grand for 6. And that means your competitors are pricing 3 grand lower than you. And if you are competing on price, you're going to lose. Because if you're an established company and you have 10 office staff you have to pay, you have to pay their salaries, maybe you've got commissions, maybe you've got front-ended supplying costs, you are at a disadvantage because that one-man band in his van doesn't have those expenses that you need to cover. And the flip side of that is when he gives them a warranty, which they all do, they say, hey, look, I'll give you a system for 6 grand and I'll do you a 25-year warranty. For a homeowner, it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you choose that? Right, hold that for a second. How do you stop selling on price? Because I said this is only an issue if you are selling on price. Just realized my shirt is really unprofessional, but hey, you guys can have this. The value is still there even if the shirt is wrinkled and in a mess. Blame my girlfriend for that. Right, so how do you stop selling on price? Here's the thing. I bet 9 out of 10 of you watching this video right now have a receptionist taking your orders. That's an interesting phrase out of shoes. I'll tie back maybe in another video why I said this. But a lead comes in, maybe you've tried Meta and Instagram ads, almost all of you probably have, and they've not worked, they've been shit. They've been really shit, and there's many reasons why, and I think that's another video as well. But the point here is, you have your receptionist answer the phone and basically say something along the lines of, hey, name, thanks for your inquiry, I heard you're interested in solar panels, and they know that it costs like 15 grand, so they're basically saying, hey name, pay me 15 grand, and the lead says, oh, I'll think about it, or oh, I'm not interested, or yeah, I've had 10 other quotes. And maybe 1 in every 4 times, a lead actually says, yeah, I'm in the market for solar panels, send me a quote. And that's what you do, you send them a quote. Have a think about what you've just done, because 9 out of 10 of you right now, this is the way your business is set up, and it's crazy. It's intuitive, and I know why your companies are set up this way, but it's actually crazy what's happening, and it's why you're all victims to this race to the bottom on price. You have now sent out essentially just a number. It's a system that's costing or on the order of magnitude of £10,000. Some are smaller, some are bigger. But you've just sent somebody out a number, and they have 6 other numbers, and there's nothing else. If you're a homeowner and you've been sent 6 numbers for solar panels, which one are you going to choose? You're going to choose the smallest one, because the lens at which you're viewing the decision of who to choose from, that lens is the one of which is the best price, because that's their proxy for value. Where am I getting the best value and the best deal for my money? That's what everyone wants at the end of the day, the best value. And the proxy for value in this situation is just the price that's on the quote. And that's wrong, and that's the definition of selling on price. It's which is the cheapest, and that's the best value. Right, there's a few things you can do to fix this, and I'm just going to give you one big one to hold and for you to implement. And Post in the comments if you want, I don't care. If it works and you don't tell me, then that's fine. At least I've given you some value. But just try this over the next couple of months and see what happens to your sales. Okay, stop sending people numbers. Stop it, because it doesn't work. Get them on a video call, Google Meet, Zoom, whatever you want. Ideally, stop doing it in person, because people are on average sick of window sellers, window and door salesmen. It feels intrusive, and there's that pressure, right? It doesn't feel like you have genuine intent. I can tie another video on genuine intent. This is my first YouTube video, and I'm just now realizing maybe I have a lot more to say than I thought I did. So take this, get them on a video call and educate them. What is solar? How does it work? And this is the big one, this third one. Who are we? What is our company and why are we different? And this might sound like a cliche or maybe some sort of hand waving, like, oh, explain who you are. But if you do it correctly, it's actually very, very important. And here's why. If you take the time to walk that customer through every single little detail about the journey in solar that other companies have not, and you take the time to design a bespoke system on a video call with them, like you show them what their house looks like remote, you can jiggle the panels around with them as well. You can show them graphs of their energy uses and projected increases in energy bills, 5% a year, for example, and really explain the finances visually to them rather than just a phone call like, oh, you want a quote? Yeah, fine, take 12 grand. If you go through this step with them, you've built so much genuine intent with the customer. And not only have you done that, but if you come across so professional and you put the time in to actually help them, and actually helping them, you can unpack that term just a little bit. That could even look like helping them find their energy bill. Like some customers who are going to be able to buy cash, they're not 20, they're not tech savvy, they're 60, 70 years old. And as silly as it sounds, actually helping them with their email might actually be all it takes to get them over the line. But if you send someone a quote, some of these guys aren't even going to know how to open the quote. They'll know what their email is, or maybe they've forgotten their password or some shit. So this is one very small example of what helping someone looks like, right? If you do this, many things happen. You now have the position to be able to say, and this is the first thing, you're now in the position to be able to say, hey, look, I know you're sitting on a pile of 6 quotes that are 2-3 grand cheaper than this. But here's the thing. Those companies crop up, they come and go. And whilst they might say you have a 25-year warranty for the system, if that company goes bust, that warranty means nothing. It's worth less than the paper that it's written on, right? And the second thing is that 2-3 grand that you've saved going with their system is actually going to cost you way more in a few years' time when something goes wrong with your system. You realize that there was something fundamentally wrong with the way it was installed, and you have to have the whole thing redone, right? This is not selling on price. It's not. It's actually the opposite. And now suddenly with this change, and there's a few other bits and pieces you can make, but I promise you, if you start doing this as one thing, you'll see a difference. You can now stop selling on price. And it's a big difference. And whilst it's tricky because you might feel like you're actually contributing something to the business, and you might feel like you're actually progressing in some ways by sending out 1 million quotes. But really, the number of people you quote, although it seems like an intuitive proxy for how much business I'm getting, it really means nothing. Like I could send out 100 quotes today for 100 grand per system, right? And nobody would buy. And I might feel good that I've sent out 100 quotes, no one's bought them. And so that's just a thought experiment to show you why sending out quotes actually is meaningless. If I sent out 1 quote per day and people bought every single time, that's actually much more successful than what most of you are doing, right? And so the point here is take the time to arrange the video call and sit down and educate the customer, and your conversion rates are going to increase massively. And this is one of the things we've done with SolarScale, is we realized that, okay, although we finally cracked the puzzle of sending people good leads, this is just a bit of context to my perspective on all of this. We realized that we can't sell at the moment or in the past for the customer, for the client, which is why we started SolarScale, to really just take control of all of this. But most of you watching this won't be on our service, and I'm not telling you to click a link below to apply. You know, click the link, don't click the link, I don't care. Just try this, because it's kind of frustrating. Everyone who comes to us has a bad perspective on many different things, really, because they just don't actually know what to do. So just try this, and I promise you it'll work. So let's wrap things up. Stop quoting on price. Make the time to book the video call, right? Do all of those 3 steps that I mentioned. What's solar? How does it work? Educating them on who you actually are, right? And that's a big one. And I'll add a 4th spicy bonus to this. When you do that, the only one downside to a remote quotation is inaccuracy. Maybe you'll turn up to the house after you've closed the system and you'll think, shit, they have a panda on the roof. They have a polar bear on the roof. That's going to cost me $2,000 to remove. Yeah, obviously a silly example. You're going to turn up and there'll be something there that's bothering you, and you can't do it for that price. There's a hole in the roof. Maybe you need 2 sets of scaffolding rather than 1. And the thing is, very rude van. The thing is, when you do that, when you've sold in the way that you've sold, rather than just sending a number out, you have the genuine intent with the customer to be able to call them back up and say, hey Kevin, look, I know we agreed this price, but here's the thing, we've turned up to the site and we found this. We can't actually do it for that price. Here's the new revised price. More often than not, that customer is still going to buy because you did not sell on price. Previously, if you'd sold on price and you were lucky enough amongst all of that big pile to get a deal, if you were the lucky one and you turned around and said, oh, actually, we can't do it for that price, they're going to tell you to do one, because you're now no longer the best price. And there are companies out there who are willing to take the fewer margins, even if they realize they have to do something else, or they might just not do that extra thing, right? Maybe they don't do the scaffolding and they mess the roof up because they don't install it properly, and they want to keep the margins, and they know that they're going to be out of business in 3 years anyway, so they don't really care about the customer. That's the 4th thing that selling not on price is going to allow you to do. That one negative of remote quotations is now gone, because more often than not, you're going to be able to get the close anyway. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. This is my first YouTube video for Solar Scale. There's going to be more content like this, more of this value up front. I realized just in the process of recording this video how much I really do have to say here. I was potentially considering not doing anything like this because I thought, how much do I really have to say? But look, I have years of experience in this, and I have a unique perspective that even as a solar business owner you will not have, because I'm speaking to all of you right now, because you own one solar company. Solar Scale, we have been working with solar companies, plural, for years now. And so we actually have a perspective that's quite unique, and we can see the entire market. Everyone comes to us telling us things, we work with clients, and we learn things. So the perspective that I bring to you is one that has seen everything in the UK. So I have a lot more to offer. If you think that this was useful and you want to hear what else I have to say that might increase your revenue or your conversion rates or your profit, there's so many different things we can do here, then I guess you may as well subscribe, because I'm going to be posting more stuff. Maybe the YouTube algorithm will be so niche that it will just start showing you my videos anyway, but I might put some stuff in the description if you want to check us out. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this channel yet, but stick around. Hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.